The incoming permanent golden age. And your part in its inception. Excerpts from letters and instructions of Beloved Maha Chohan and the great host of Ascended Masters. First edition, 1959. The Cosmic Wheel. The cosmic wheel, which allows the play of certain spiritual stimuli upon the earth and the inner bodies of her people, has one complete revolution in every 14,000 years. During this time, each of the 7 rays is given an opportunity to play upon the earth and give the nourishment and love of its particular quality to evolving life upon it, in order to unfold the spiritual nature of each of its component parts. The cosmic cycle is divided into minor cycles of 2,000 years, each one under the direction of a great being especially dedicated to a particular quality of the Godhead necessary to the evolution of the earth life for that period. These beings are called Chohans of the rays. The word Chohan, meaning Lord, and Ray, the color and activity of each of the various spheres which make up the aura of God. The first 2,000-year cycle is under the direction of the Chohan of the first ray, representing the Father, or the first person of the Trinity. This being sets the patterns for the religious, governmental, and individual evolution of the souls taking embodiment in that cycle. He embodies the will of the Father. The second 2,000-year cycle is under the direction of the second ray, representative of the second person of the Trinity, the Son. His office is dedicated to the development of the qualities and precepts laid down by the will of the Father under the first ray. The last 10,000 years of the cosmic cycle is under the direction of the great being called Maha Chohan, who represents the third person of the Trinity, or the Holy Spirit, to the earth. His office is so diversified in its nature in that he is responsible for externalizing the will of the Father, with the cooperation of the Son, through every expression of life on the planet, mineral, vegetable, animal, and man, that he has chosen to subdivide the 10,000 years into 5 minor cycles of 2,000 years each, thus completing the 14,000-year period of the cosmic cycle. At the head of each of these minor cycles, the Maha Chohan has placed a great being, representative of the ray and sphere presently active, who is particularly dedicated to the qualities and nature which are to be developed in the evolving life streams during that period. The Maha Chohan holds the office of advisory director to all of the 7 Chohans active in the great cosmic cycle of 14,000 years. The cosmic wheel has now turned to a point where the last of the 5 sub-rays of the Maha Chohan is about to be emphasized in its outpouring. In this final cycle, every life stream on this planet is expected to qualify its energies to fulfill the plan for which it was created. The purpose for the creation and sustenance of our planet is to allow each life stream evolving upon it an opportunity to unfold his spiritual nature and become master of energy and vibration through the conscious control and use of his creative faculties. In order to become such a master presence, the threefold nature of man must be nurtured and developed. For this purpose alone was the cosmic cycle instituted and sustained to the present day. As each new minor cycle opens, a new method of incorporating the energies of the people is presented to the embodied life streams. The cosmic law, in its mercy, allows what is called an avataric embodiment to take place early in each of the subcycles of the Lord Maha Chohan. It is understood, of course, that an avatar is a being, like the ascended Master Jesus, has worked out his destructive karma prior to his taking embodiment as avatar, and is therefore a pure channel through which the finest essence of the ray is incorporated into the activities of the new religion. Before his coming and after his coming, the work is left in the hands of good life streams who insist on explaining the law as the consciousness sees it. We are presently in this before stage, and while the forerunners of the seventh ray activity have done well, they have not touched even the periphery of the truth concerning the power of invoking, wielding, and dispensing the spiritual currents that are the seventh ray's gifts for the upliftment of the race. Suggested Decree. Beloved Presence of God, I am in me, and my own beloved Holy Christ Self. Help me now to prepare for the Ascended Master Saint Germain's permanent golden age on earth, and to inculcate all mankind with his vision, and a like enthusiasm to serve him, and make of earth freedom's holy star. So be it. Re-embodiment. By the acceptance of re-embodiment, people will understand the existing evils of the world, because they have all been generated in one lifespan or another by every human being that exists today. Due to the fall of man and his slow upward climb to the consciousness he enjoyed before his descent, and because of the balance each one owes to life by reason of the misuse of energy, as well as his unfulfilled mission, the karmic law allows him an allotted span of time at certain intervals called earthly embodiments. During this time, he is expected to attend to his spirit's mission. When this short period of time has expired, the personality is withdrawn to make room for another incoming and hopeful spirit. This coming and going out of the individual are called by the names of birth and death, each such experience being just an oft-recurring episode in the evolution of every being using the planet Earth as a schoolroom. The going out should not hold any more terror than the coming in, because so-called death is but the transferring of the individual to a place of rest and peace, where it may renew its energies and receive valuable instruction before the next embodiment. Ofttimes it is happily the open door to eternal freedom for some one triumphant spirit who has successfully fulfilled his divine plan. Consciousness endures beyond the dissolution of the physical body at the time of so-called death through the intermediate life, and returns as a personal heritage of the re-embodying individual, forming the foundation of his new experience life. Therefore, the richer and more perceptive our individual consciousness, the more rapid our growth in this and succeeding lives. No life stream that embodies receives in any embodiment more of his destructively created karma than his development will allow him to completely expiate within that life. There is no disease, distress, or condition which through the law of justice and mercy is to be experienced by any life stream in that embodiment that is greater than the developed consciousness and power of the individual to whom that karma rightfully belongs. This is the law, and you may tell it from the housetops. Where would the activity of justice and mercy be were the debts to come back more rapidly than the power developed within to expiate them? The power is within the Holy Christ Self to expiate every bit of karma that belongs to each life stream and which is allotted for transmutation in each earth life. Very few individuals adore the presence enough to externalize that power and make that balance. When they do, disease and death, disintegration and failure will cease to be. The Permanent Golden Age. Great cosmic events move in these gigantic cycles or circles, and the cycle governing the 14,000-year dispensation of the 7 rays must also come to a close in the joining or welding of the 1st and 7th rays. One might call the dispensation of the 7th ray the cosmic harvest, because it is really the gathering together or harvesting of the best endeavors of all rays since that particular cosmic cycle's inception. It could also be likened to the final act of a great cosmic opera when all the efforts of the musicians and artists are presented in one glorious final symphony with all the actors or participants on the stage. As we are now at the close of these cycles, the minor and the major, the 7th ray is to again play upon the planet Earth for approximately 2,000 years. The cosmic law has said it is the final cycle for bringing forth God's kingdom here on Earth. It is the final warm spring sun that must draw life from bulbs and dormant seeds, just as the Heavenly Father and His divine messengers are required to draw forth the gifts and talents of the Holy Christ Self of every individual who has ever used the earth as a schoolroom. During the present 2,000-year cycle, the earth will go through a period of unprecedented activity along every channel of physical and spiritual endeavor. Every individual within its compass will be given an opportunity to attain his mastery, and thus harvest the fruits of his endeavors through his many centuries of embodied service under one of the preceding rays. Every individual belonging to the planet, regardless of the ray to which he belongs, who did not attain his spiritual freedom up to this time, will be given an opportunity to re-embody during this 7th ray cycle, will be educated along true spiritual lines, and through his knowledge of the sacred fire will be able to transmute the tares sown by the enemy, his lower self, and at the same time offer a beautiful harvest to his Lord. It is all so beautifully simple. It is also mathematically and scientifically accurate. There is nothing obtruse about it. Unfortunately, through the ages, spiritual truths have been so clothed in mysticism that mankind, for the most part, cannot understand them without an interpreter. Then, too, the interpreter very often colors the instruction with his own accumulation of mental effluvia. It is a day when the inner perceptions of the individual is tested against the full measure of truth, and through his spiritual discernment he will find that the fruit falls not far from the parent tree, nor the Master's word and work from the Father's throne. The 2,000-year cycle of the Piscean age, governed by the sixth ray and known as the Christian dispensation, has come to a close. As all cycles overlap, the sensitive inner ear and inner eye of spiritually discerning individuals have glimpsed the dawn of the new day through vibrations of the seventh ray, which are making themselves felt in the hopeful hearts of the forerunners of the new day. All great beings and powers of light who are connected in any way with the evolution of the planet are joining forces under the auspices of the Great White Brotherhood in this endeavor to free the earth and her people from the dark forces that have threatened to engulf her. We only wait man's answer to our call. We are in the last days of limitation and distress. We have in this cosmic hour unusual opportunity to set mankind and all life free. The close of this great cosmic cycle will usher in a permanent golden age when God's angels, man, and elementals will walk together in peace and harmony, and the earth will take her rightful place among the triumphant stars in God's firmament. Come now forth from among the masses and enjoy being one of those who are in cooperation with the Great White Brotherhood, bringing forth the beloved Ascended Master Saint Germain's golden age here on earth as it is in heaven. Suggested Decree. Beloved Presence of God, I am in me, and my beloved Holy Christ Self. Make me and keep me constant in thy service until the earth is truly freedom's holy star. Help me to recognize your vibration and not be led astray by false prophets. What I ask for myself, I ask for all mankind. So be it. The Ascension. After countless centuries of bondage, you can well imagine the joy that is experienced when the fetters of earth, the limitations of the flesh, and the veil of forgetfulness are once and for all removed from the life stream. To attempt to describe those first instants of eternal freedom is as futile as to attempt to put into finite words a suitable description of the personage of the Godhead. Suffice it to say that at the very instant such freedom is experienced, the life stream is immediately faced with a free will decision as to whether it shall soar upward into cosmic heights of peace and happiness, or, with the glow of freedom still fresh in the heart, turn again to voluntary bondage and centuries of endeavor with the limited consciousness through some office in the Great White Brotherhood. During the course of centuries of time, each life stream who has embodied on the planet Earth has developed certain definite talents and powers of accomplishment through the voluntary investment of life energy to specific interests. This is known as a momentum of healing, teaching, musical or artistic genius, as the case may be. It is an integral part of the life stream's harvest, woven out of energies of the heartbeat, and is the only heritage of human endeavor which is allowed entrance into the higher sphere and which ascends with the consciousness at the moment when the earth pull is released from the soul at the close of the final embodiment. When the Lords of Karma examine the individual for the last time preceding ascension, the full gathered momentum of the life stream's service to life is presented for consideration before the karmic board. If the life stream is found ready to be freed from the wheel of birth and rebirth, the disposition to which the individual puts his gathered momentum of service must be made before the actual ritual of the ascension takes place. Individuals who have been offered the ascension because they have expiated their individual karmic debts and have gained mastery over energy and have renounced that freedom to better serve mankind are among the holiest sons of heaven. They wear upon their foreheads a spiritual identification in the form of an open lotus that is easily discernible to all whose inner eye is developed. No other group of beings, human or divine, have this particular mark, and wherever they are encountered, the Supreme Intelligence of the universe bows in acknowledgement of their presence, their sacrifice, their love. When these individuals do finally accept their ascension, this lotus is amplified, and even in heaven's highest spheres, it is a permanent identification of their love and service to life that all who run may read. The goal of all mankind is ultimately the ascension in the light.